Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Tom Prasada-Rao and Carrie Cooper. They are fabulous. They're in the music room, and thank you. You want to cue me here, Andy? So I went online and listened to them both, listened to their music, and it's fantastic. They're witty, they're clever, they're talented, and y'all are going to enjoy them. So give them a big walk. Say, hey, welcome.
Thank you.
What if all I am is smoking mirrors? 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 There's a place for poetry. There's a place for smoke. I look into the mirror till I start to choke. 'Cause I can't see who you're telling me I am. And if I say I love you to the face I see, I have to trust what you see in me. Don't know if I can be who you're telling me I am. I can't see past the shadow I cast. I can't see the greener side of the glass. What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? There's a place in poetry, there's a place in time, when the damage is done and across the line, and doubts fall through the hourglass like sand. So I keep playing hide and seek. Can't roll the dice, can't play for keeps. And you can't stay till I am who I am. I can't see past the shadow I cast. I can't see the greener side of the glass. Oh, what if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? Do you know me better than I know myself? Do you see me better than I see myself? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors? What if all I am is smoke and mirrors?
You couldn't?
You gotta come into the mic just a little.
What is this on?
You're on 3.
Oh, I thought Bill was on 3.
I'm not up there.
Red.
Bill's 2.
Oh, Bill's 2. So press down is muted,
No,
right?
no, bring it up. Okay, just push your slider up a little bit.
Okay.
That's good.
1, 2, there we go.
There you go. I think he's coming to the mic a little.
I got it.
Okay, let's see. Oh, it was on. Okay. Well, this next song I wrote from an assignment. And the assignment was to go out into a parking lot and choose a car, any car at all, and then to write a song from the driver's perspective of whatever particular car you happen to choose, keeping in mind things like, where might this person be going? What do they have hiding in the trunk? You know, stuff like that. And so this is the song I wrote, and should say for the sake of my mother that this particular song is not about me. It's very important to my mom for that to be said. And there is a sing-along, and you'll figure out what it is. Okay, ready? 3. The sun's so bright, don't even care that I've been up all night. I'd even swear the birds are singing right along with my radio. I'm listening to the Grateful Dead, trucking to New Orleans in my head, and I feel the sweat run down my dreads, roll down my window. 'Cause I ain't got no air conditioning in this beat up bug. Bought it from my hippie uncle for $350. Usually it gets me where I wanna go, just a little slow. It's yellow, that would be your word to sing on right now.
Yellow!
Nice. Don't have a job. Sometimes I wish I did, but mostly not. But that's never what I tell my mom on the telephone. She calls a lot. I think she wonders if I'm smoking pot or reading all those self-help books she bought last time I was home. But they're still laying in the backseat of my beat up bug. Bought it from my hippie uncle for $350. Usually it gets me where I wanna go, just a little slow. It's
Yellow! Yellow!
sometimes all a girl needs is
Just a way to feel free. That's when I reach for my keys and drive.
I'm just rolling down the highway in my beat up bug. Bought it from my hippie uncle for $350. Usually it gets me where I wanna go, just a little slow. It's
Yellow! Yellow!
my beat up. It's
Yellow!
I love my beat up. It's
Yellow! Yellow!
Thank you.
I was the one who gave out that assignment, by the way. That was right when we were getting to know each other, and I thought, wow, she actually did something I asked her to do.
It doesn't happen all that often anymore.
Nope. Well, this song I got as an assignment when I was teaching at a writer's workshop in upstate Michigan. And it's a really great workshop called Lamb's Retreat. The director of the program is a lounge singer in Detroit. His name's John Lamb, and he's a really brilliant guy. So the first day we all get together, and there's about 50 or 60 students, and he had us all sit in a room in a big circle and turned to the first student and gave that student an assignment, a writing prompt for the weekend, based on what he could figure out about him, his last name, his email address, his hometown. Really brilliant writing prompt. Turned to the next student and gave that person a different assignment, different writing prompt, equally as brilliant, and went around the whole room like that, 50 or 60 different writing prompts.
which were works of art in and of themselves. So he got done with all the students, and then he turned to us, the instructors, and started giving us assignments too. And when it came to my turn, he says, "Okay, Tom, here's the premise of the song that I want you to write this weekend." He says, "Imagine that there's a young child who comes to you and says they are troubled at the noises that mommy and daddy make at night." And he said, "Would you consider writing a little lullaby for this young child?" And I was horrified at the thought of writing this song. So I called Carrie, who was back home in Dallas, and said, "You will not believe this assignment." And she just kind of filled me in on a couple things I was still not that sure about. And so I like to give her all the credit for the inspiration of this song.
And I would like to say once again, for the sake of my mother, that I had nothing at all to do with verse 3 in particular.
There's nobody in this room who's going to believe you. All right? Okay.
My mother will.
My mother will.
Kiss me goodnight, go say your prayers, I'll get the light. Don't be scared, just climb into bed. Those bed bugs won't bite. And don't get upset at the noises at night, 'cause sometimes daddy asks questions, sometimes mommy says yes, sometimes mommy yells louder, 'cause sometimes daddy forgets. Sometimes we jump on the bed, that's why you hear it squeak. That's why the headboard rattles, that's why it keeps the beat. Sometimes we jump so high we hit our heads on the ceiling. That's when you hear a scream, 'cause sometimes we like that feeling. Don't you dance on the mattress till you're old enough. One day you'll understand this, it's called making love. There's more words for that. There's the roll in the hay. There's the cat in the hat. There's come out and play. There's banging the door. There's turning the screw. There's 4 on the floor. There's taming the shrew. Sometimes daddy asks questions. Sometimes mommy says yes. Sometimes mommy yells louder, 'cause sometimes daddy forgets. Sometimes we jump on the bed, that's why you hear it squeak. That's why the headboard rattles, that's why it keeps the beat. Sometimes we jump so high we hit our heads on the ceiling. That's when you hear us scream, 'cause sometimes we like that feeling. Don't you dance on the mattress until you're old enough. One day you'll understand this, it's called making love. I'm glad we had this talk, but there's more that you'll discover when you're old enough to walk. Go ask your mother. One day you'll need to know it. Till then I hope you buy it. When daddy's not at home, it may seem way too quiet, but then you'll hear something buzzing, but you won't know for sure. There's no need for fussing it. No one needs a cure. It's just mommy missing daddy. Most times that doesn't faze her, but when she misses me badly, she sounds like my electric razor. We just want to feel closer. Closer's never enough. That's just a poor substitution for making love.
I've got an assignment for you.
Oh, you do?
What grade did you make?
Oh, they didn't grade us.
His mother gave him an F on that song. In fact, she came to the first gig where he played that song live, and she's never been to another gig. Well, the only reason why I let Tom attempt to get away with blaming that song on me is because I have 2 daughters, and when he wrote the song, my daughters were 6 and 2, and I told him, well, someday you're going to have to help me explain this to them. Well, now they're 15 and 10, and they know the whole story, and this song totally mortifies them now. They used to like it. They used to think it was fun to think that we were jumping on the bed, and now that they know, they're like, oh, God. But this next song I wrote when my oldest daughter was starting junior high. We happened to live right across the street from the junior high that she went to, and it's fun because we can actually stand in the kitchen, look out the kitchen window, and watch her walk through the front doors of the school. And I found that very handy while she started. But I remember the first day that she actually took that walk by herself, and I remember that it felt a little bit to me like watching this little lamb walking into the lion's den. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, you have not been praying hard enough. And then I thought back to my own junior high years, and I realized that I really had not been praying hard enough. So instead of praying, I wrote a song. Well, actually, it's a prayer of a song. So it's called 7th Grade. If I went back to 7th grade, before all my mistakes were made, to soccer games and innocence, when Jimmy Carter was the president, to dingo boots and Wolfman Jack, Bonnie Bell and gunny sacks and love notes that I never sent to my track coach, 'cause running was romantic. If I went back to junior high, before my secrets made me cry, to happy days, Laverne and Shirley, when all the boys were way too squirrely, and the book I found up on my mama's shelf, upside down, so I stole it for myself and read it, locked behind the bathroom door, everything I ever wanted to know about sex and more.
If I went back, I wouldn't be so afraid to ask my mom about mistakes she'd made, hungry for her history when she was just a girl like me. I'd ask her, did she go too far in the backseat of her boyfriend's car? Ask her, did she ache for love inside disguises she wasn't proud of? I'd ask her, did she take the blame? I'd ask her, did she feel the shame? Ask her, did she learn to stand outside the shadow of a man? I'd ask her things I hope to say before my daughters walk away, before my prayers have all been prayed, before they hit the halls of 7th grade. Hit the halls of 7th grade. 7th grade. Thank you.
So which one is it that I unmute for the piano?
You don't have to.
Oh, it's
No,
unmuted.
it's already open.
Okay. Good.
Come on through.
Well, there we go.
Don't hit the mute button.
I won't hit the mute button. Well, this next song, I'm going to pull this down a little bit if I can. This is a song I wrote with a buddy of mine named Tom Kimmel, who's a really great writer from Nashville. And Tom and I met at the Kerrville Folk Festival like close to 20 years ago now, 18 years ago actually. And it was way before I lived in Texas, and we just struck up a friendship immediately and decided we're going to book a tour together. And so our first tour, we decided, let's play in Texas. So we booked a gig at, our first gig was at Anderson Fair in Houston. Really, really cool, small, cool club. Tom and I got there really early, and we did our sound check in the afternoon. Didn't realize the show wasn't until 9 o'clock, so we had a bunch of time to kill. And went out walking to grab a bite to eat. And on our way walking down the sidewalk, this guy comes up to us and says, I'm the can man. I need to talk to you guys. And so Tom and I looked at each other for, like, yeah, we'll give him a minute, a little nervous, So then the can man started talking, and it was apparent from the first word that he was not the guy we expected him to be. He was just so full of joy and life, that it almost came bubbling out of his mouth when he talked, So Tom and I stood there on the street corner talking with the can man for maybe 15 or 20 minutes, just little jokes as if we'd known him all our life, little stories about our life. And finally the can man looked down on his watch and says, I gotta go. You guys kept me here way too long. Then he said he left his Cadillac running on the other side of the street. Now we were really confused, He did not look like a Cadillac guy. So we stayed put, and the can man crossed the road. As soon as he got to the other side, he started pushing the shopping cart full of aluminum cans. And he noticed us looking at him. So he waved over to us and said, see, my Cadillac, pointing down to a shopping cart, my Cadillac. We were just so taken with this guy. I don't know, it's just something about the unexpectedness of the joy coming out of his face. It was just so beautiful. We were just mesmerized by the thought of him, that we just kept talking about him for days. And then we ended up in Austin a couple of days later, our friend's kitchen table at midnight, and started writing the song. About 3:30 in the morning we were done. And a couple of years later, a country star named Randy Travis recorded this song. And I'm really grateful for it. I actually got a check in the mail just the other day. So it's very nice. Yeah. So here goes. It's called See Myself in You.
If I met you on the corner, would I know you as you are? Would I take you for a stranger and brush past you in the door? And if you call me, would I hear you? Would I walk away too soon? If I lingered for a moment, would I see myself in you? And if I fought you as a soldier, if I had you in my sights, would you ask me to remember who imagined I was right? And if you witnessed my surrender, do I know what I would do? If you held me like my beloved, would I see myself in you? Well, I dreamed my end was near. I was on like my brother, would I see myself in you? And if you held me like my mother, would I see myself in you?
Well, Tom and I got together about 9 years ago now, and when we first got together, we were writing some of the mushiest, gushiest love songs you have ever heard. So much to the point that when our friends would hear them, they'd say, "Oh, that's really nice," and then they'd run to the next room and throw up. You know, it was really sick. And then at some point along the way, after we'd been together for a while, it was kind of like love met the laundry. And some of those songs started to get a little more realistic, and because love is hard, as you know. And this is one of those love songs. It's called Consider Me. I have always been afraid of the happiness we've made. So before you turn to leave, consider me, consider me, consider me. I can never show my face to the brighter side of grace. So when you set your shadow free, consider me, consider me, consider me. If I'm not everything you want, am I still worthy of your love? I am all that I can be. Consider me, consider me, consider me.
All right. Hey, Bill, are you around, Bill? Feel like coming up?
I was on the plastic couch, man.
You were on the plastic.
They know what I meant. They know what I meant.
Sorry.
Okay, you gotta tell us about your guitar.
Yes.
Oh, about this one?
No, about the one around your neck.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you a little story first,
Okay.
and then it'll be all too apparent. Let's see. Maybe.
Help him find the hole.
I now understand what kind of crowd this is.
Now I want to know where the alcohol is. Where's mine?
At intermission, you'll have
Okay, great.
You guys bugs, he found it when he was here.
Is that D, Bill?
Some form of it.
Okay, I got a tune. I'll tell the story in tune.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, it is? Cool. Well, my parents are from India, and I was born in Africa, in Ethiopia, actually. So I like to tell people that I meet for the first time that I'm one of those starving millions that you had to eat your peas and your beets and your squash for. Yeah. So on behalf of all of us, just like to thank you for cleaning your plate, you know. My first memory of my dad is in our living room in Maryland, where I grew up.
Woo!
You from Maryland?
Some spring.
No, she grew up.
No way.
Seriously.
Tacoma Park.
Wow.
Yeah. My parents live in Silver Spring now. Well, anyway, my first memory of my dad is in our living room in Tacoma Park, Maryland, where I grew up. And every night after dinner, my dad would take out his favorite record, which almost always was this old Ravi Shankar album that we had, the one Ravi Shankar album that we had on the record stand. And he put it on the turntable, and he'd turn up the volume really, really loud. And he'd go to the wall, switch off the lights, come back to the middle of the living room carpet, and just squat down on the floor and just sit still there for forever. And he'd do this almost every night. And we would all watch him from time to time. And I got into the habit of kind of staring at him, just expecting something different to happen. And every now and then something different would happen. Usually he'd just kind of sit still there. If you've ever listened to a Ravi Shankar album, you know those songs take forever to get going, right? So he'd sit still there for the longest time. But sometimes the spirit would take a hold of him. And he'd get up on his feet and start whirling around the room like a dervish. And I remember one time, turned to my brother who was with me, and I said, "Man, something's really wrong with Dad." You know? Didn't get it until much, much later. Well, I went to India myself for college and came back and did the same thing. I borrowed my dad's Ravi Shankar album and went to my room and turned it up, you know. So this is a song that always reminds me of my dad and how I picture him. I always picture him in the living room, just sitting there with his eyes closed. So I'd like to ask you for your help to help me sing this song, okay? I'll sing a phrase, and you sing it back to me, okay? Ah, 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 ah. Rishi's sleeping in the garden, made a bed of rose and stone, overhead a crown of seagulls, underneath the Rishi throne.
Rishi rises, head turned sideways, understanding every song in the garden. Rosebuds glisten in the path of Rishi's son. I awoke in Rishi's garden in the evening. Rosebuds blue, Rishi's footprints trail the sunset. I suspect what Rishi knew.
How about Bill on the keyboards?
Just let me know what key it is. I'll screw it up.
I have no idea what key it is. How's that?
Are you playing an E minor there? I think it's E minor. Is it E? A minor?
G minor.
G minor. One of those minors.
It's a minor.
It's D minor. Sorry.
Well, I grew up right here in Texas. I didn't grow up in Ethiopia or India or anywhere like that. But my mother grew up in Virginia, and she moved to Texas about 3 years before I was born, right as she was getting out of high school. And she brought with her from Virginia a very thick Central Virginia accent. And it was so thick that when my friends would come over after school, they would frequently ask, "Can you make your mom talk?" Because it just sounded cool. And along with the accent, she brought some really interesting Southern-sounding sayings, and she would pull them out of the hat at various times. One of them she would use when she was pulling the tangles out of my hair or my sister's hair, and we'd be whining and complaining, and she'd say, "Girls, you must suffer for beauty," which I think is a crock. And then another one that she would often say when my sister and I had our hands around each other's throats and were killing each other in one room, we'd yell, "Mom, she's hurting me," and my mother would very politely yell back from the next room, "Pretty girls have pretty voices," which basically meant, "Shut up now." But I thought a lot about that particular saying through the years, and it kind of came to mean more to me than just my mom saying be quiet. It represented to me, I think, what a lot of women have had to suffer through the years, which is being told to look pretty, sit in the corner, and don't say what's really on your mind. So that's what this song speaks to. Duckling, you never liked me without my lipstick on, and you never liked my recollections of your memories, where your memories are tread upon. But you never come right out and tell me the scenic route has always been your way. But I've been riding shotgun with you long enough to know what you mean when you say pretty girls have pretty voices, pretty girls preserve their youth, pretty girls know all their choices, pretty girls don't tell the truth. You can teach a girl to curtsy and set a table like her great-grandmother did, and you can dress her up in velvet, neglect to tell her all the secrets you've hid. But love is not the question. 'Cause if you wanted, you could love someone to death. Love them straight into the closet, afraid to draw, afraid to draw, afraid to draw, afraid to draw a breath. Pretty girls have pretty voices, pretty girls preserve their youth, pretty girls know all their choices, pretty girls don't tell the truth. Dum da 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 dum da da dum da da dum da da dum da 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 dum da da dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum. Pretty girls, pretty girls, pretty girls, pretty girls don't tell the truth. Thank you.
Well, I think we got time for one more quick one before we have to switch out everything and
Get some alcohol.
get some alcohol. Yeah. You better watch out, man. You guys have no idea.
You don't know what we have.
Maybe I
That sounded like a throwdown to me.
Wine is folk heroin.
do. Wine is folk heroin?
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, I grew up racing home every afternoon so I could watch the reruns on TV when I was in grade school. The reruns on TV that really kind of floated my boat were, there was Gilligan's Island, Ginger, Marianne, Ginger, right? And there was Bewitched with Elizabeth Montgomery. But best of all, there was I Dream of Jeannie.
I would go to rerun heaven after school from 5 to 7, every day from age 11 until I turned 13. It's where I learned about the yin and yang from Ginger and from Marianne, the difference between now and then from a black and white TV. Every night as I lay sleeping, I would dream of Barbara Eden. So baby, 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 call me master. Thought of claiming Cleopatra for my tent in the Sahara, and that was better than that Farrah Fawcett poster on my wall. I'd see her gown fall down in curls with eyes as round as a big blue world, but that was cheating on the girl that I wanted most of all. 'Cause every night as I lay sleeping, I would dream of Barbara Eden. So baby, yeah, baby, baby, call me master. Oh my God, what the hell? Jesus Christ, please don't tell. They say it makes you go blind, but I don't care, no, I don't mind. I forget. What's my name? Just call me master of my domain. In the intro to psychiatry, page 1 can't help describing the Oedipus inside me as Tyrannosaurus Rex, as if the reason for the song I sing is petrifying everything, each failed attempt at being king. But here's what says it best: every night as I lay sleeping, I still dream of Barbara Eden. So baby, call me master. Call me master. Do it faster. Call me master.
Thank you, Bill. Take a break, right? We're going to take a 15-minute break and we'll be back.